We are just programs. We're all very unique, but in so many ways, we're the same. We're the same. In psychology, they do too categorize people. There are just few psychotypes. And there are only 8 basic emotions. It's a program. Which program do you choose to run in your life? Which is your predominant emotion?
It's hard with my pride to think we're really that maybe a bit of pride, but we are
Yeah,
really not as complex and unique as we keep priming ourselves to be.
yes,
And I think that's the hardest pill to swallow.
yes, yes. But it's not all black and white, of course. Yes, we shouldn't be, you know, categorizing people, but in a way we are still. Even in your day-to-day life, even when you go to grocery store and this 1 minute interaction with a cash register personnel, your mind already categorized that person, who that is, how to act. Or in a line, there's next to you somebody. You looked for 15 seconds. Hi, Reina. For 15 seconds, your mind already categorized this person. You can relax and not pay attention. You're safe, or you tuck in your tummy like you're in the army now. Few seconds gaze, mind already categorize that person. Basic character traits. We have probably all of them. I like to compare it to astrology, 12 houses, 12 zodiac signs. You are born with a sun sign or ascendant in certain zodiac sign, which means those traits are predominant, but it does not mean at all that you lack in every other trait. All those planets still influence you, it's just to what degree. There are endless combinations, just like with music, there are only 7 notes. Yet there are millions of new songs every day coming out. It always has been this way, it will never end. If 7 wasn't enough, 7 notes wasn't enough, we would have 7 songs, or I don't know, 20. But it's not like this, the same here. So the profiling, actually, I am basing it in my own trade, which I took years ago for my work, in profiling to many different schools. I'm basing my on what came out from KGB because this is the most accurate. I guess more scientists were involved in creating it. It's super accurate. Given that I am also an astrologist, a numerologist, and a psychic, I can see how it all match. It doesn't matter from which angle you're analyzing a person, or you do tarot, or whatever, reading face, or handwriting. It doesn't matter how you analyze. You still will get the same thing because the person is still the same. But when you have all different tools, of course, you have a fuller picture, and it's easier for you, and you do it much faster. You're more proficient. Also, we looking at the traits that are predominant in each person, it's not a diagnosis yet in that clinical sense. If all those other traits were missing and that was only one, then it's already a clinical case. That's why I say we're too complex. It's just to what degree each characteristics playing out in you. What we use, well, we did some of it in ancestral trauma, kind of, although I didn't give you the science, I just taught you do it intuitively. We did a little bit, at least who went through all the classes, all the workshops in hypnosis, hypnotherapy course, the bits you put together like a puzzle. Face, body language. Remember we did body language. The way people speak, from which part of the body they speak, you can hear. Handwriting, the way they dress. So it's just a little bits and pieces, very basic things. In profiling, when we do it professionally, it's systemized. And then it's drilled into the subconscious level, so you don't even have to think about it. I use hypnosis for this. So then it just like your natural ability. You don't even think about it. It takes only a few seconds to figure out who's in front of you. Practical application is so big in every area of our life can be helpful. Wouldn't it be helpful to you to be able to recognize potential danger when you're in a crowd, where it's coming from? Or even how to parent, or how to interact with your intimate partners, or any other family members, friendships. In business, this is crucial. Even, by the way, person replied to your email or how they sound on the phone, you can already figure out what's their core fear. This is the biggest driver. You know what to give them, how to talk to them. What's their priority? What's their life strategy in whole? Now, even on sales calls, you know what to give them. Sounds like manipulation, but everything is really. And also, what is the intention? You want to manipulate for the sake of controlling or using somebody or serve them better. Yes, we are all manipulators. Some are such a masters, but still not even aware of that power. Do I manipulate my child? Hell yes, every day. I sure hope so, but I have the best intentions. I want them to thrive. I want him to succeed in life. I want him to be happy. In most normal human relationships, you want the same, right? You want to help your friends, you want to support them. Now you know how to. Within the therapeutic setting, yes, this is crucial. Now you know. Even the person themselves doesn't understand where the roots of their problems. Within few seconds, you'll know. Most likely, this is where it came from. And you'll know exactly what to do. There is a lot of practical application. People think it's only for psychopaths who likes to use and scam people, or for salespeople, or in the criminal field. No, we should know those things. We all would have a better life and better relationships if we learned those basics. We are sometimes too preoccupied with whatever happening in our head. We don't pay attention and don't put enough efforts in studying other people. That's what I was trying to say. Our strongest motivators are our fears. Understand your deepest fear, and you'll understand everything about yourself. Our fears don't just affect the way we feel or think. Our fears shape our neurology. It reflects in our face, in our body, in the way we walk, talk, carry ourselves. This is the strongest driver behind everything we do in life. Unfortunately, we often lack the self-awareness and unable to recognize those deep fears, our core fears that influence our entire life. But it's not difficult to figure it out, and I'll tell you more. It's not difficult to understand other people's fears. You can recognize person's core fear just by looking at them, by the way they dress, talk, by their facial features, body build, voice, gestures. And when you understand that, you can improve this relationship, and you can also influence this person. And although we're all very different, unique, and special in our own ways, still, in many ways, we are the same. There are only few personality types. If you learn them, it'll be much easier for you to understand all people. I'll give you an example. Let's take a personality type as a harmonizer, equilibrist, or a cycloid. Cycloid meaning their nature is very cyclical. They have highs and downs, kind of like bipolar, but we're not talking here about diagnosis, clinical level of the problem. We are just talking about accentuation, character traits. So how do you recognize them? They're usually relaxed, unless they're hitting their bottom now, you probably won't see them at all. When they feel good, they're relaxed, soft-spoken, easygoing. That will be reflected in their posture, their face, the way they speak, the way they walk. What is their biggest fear? We're talking about core fear. The fear that sits so deeply that we might not even be able to recognize it ourselves. Because of their cyclical nature and mood swings, all they want is to hold on unto the moments when they feel good, when they feel at peace. Their biggest fear is a discomfort and conflict. It shapes their life strategy. Everything they do is driven by their desire to keep peace at all cost. And when you understand that, you know, this is an empathetic, caring, loving person. Perhaps sometimes they're too nice, too kind, too agreeable. Perhaps they are easily manipulated and taken advantage of. Knowing just that little of information about a person, you can now understand how in the best way you can support them, what they need, how you can protect them, how you can encourage them, what problems they're more likely to face in life. Let's take another type, the guardian. We can also call them protector or a defender. Very easy to recognize them. They're sporty, strong, active, physically active. They're usually wearing a uniform or some clothing that resembles a uniform. It can be athletic clothing also. Their deepest fear is instability and loss of control, and it drives them to constantly safeguard themselves. They need structure, loyalty, and because it feels safer to be in a community, they need this sense of belonging. They often join athletic teams, they join army, they become policemen, and because of their need for staying in control as they can, be seen as rigid, controlling, toxic even. For example, if you have a customer like this, and they're trying to control your process, understand that they're not trying to be difficult. Be transparent, keep them updated on the progress, and give them reassurance. This way you'll have your customers happy, and they will always come back to you and send you referrals. Now let's look at the other type, the dynamo or hyperactive type. Fast-spoken, active, constantly in motion. Their biggest fear is stagnation. Although they can bring excitement, can be very entertaining, social, can bring fresh energy into any environment. They're creative and imaginative. Know that this hyperactivity is very energy consuming, so it doesn't last long. They easily get tired, bored. They may just simply disappear. Know that if this is a romance, although it might be a dream-like, it's not going to last long. If this is your employee, understand that they can only work well on short-term projects. They need a fast-changing, dynamic environment. As a business partner, they can be incredible at the beginning stage of a project. But once you set the project in motion, you are going to have to pull the entire weight, because they're going to lose interest after the initial excitement fades away. If you are interested in understanding yourself and others more, I am inviting you to join me for profiling training. You'll find all the information below this video. Imagine how your life would transform if you could truly understand people. Not just the words they say, but their true personality, their values, goals, biggest desires, deepest fears, the motivators behind their behavior. What if you could predict their behavior, their reactions? Just imagine how much better all your relationships would be. Your family, friends, dating, at work. What if you knew exactly how to connect to each personality type? What words to say? And how to navigate each situation? What if you had the power to influence people's choices and decisions, not by some dark manipulation, but by deeply understanding people's true desires and needs? If you're a business owner, just imagine how much more effective you'd be at selling your services or products if you knew exactly what your clients need. It's not some magical powers. You can learn to read people and to understand them better than they understand themselves by observing people's appearances, body build, body language, face, the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, the way they speak. You can figure out their core personality profile. We call it profiling. Profiling is not just for security or law enforcement agencies. It's a skill that has very practical application in everyday life of regular, like you and me people. Imagine going on a date and within just a couple of minutes understanding who's in front of you, without relying on what they say, understanding their personality, their needs, their priorities, what they need in potential partner. Therefore, knowing exactly what to say and how to behave to spark attraction. Or maybe you'll understand that this is not a good fit and you'll save yourself from wasting time and energy. And now picture this in business. You'll know what your clients need better than they know themselves. And you'll know how to tailor your offer, what words to use, what approach to take, so you can give them something that resonates with their unspoken desires. And what if you could predict and even de-escalate a dangerous situation? In any environment, you'll have the tools to stay in control and ahead of the game. This is not a fantasy, this is a skill that can improve every area of your life, a skill that can better every relationship. My name is Guzala Davis, and I invite you to join me for 7-week training live on Zoom, where I will teach you profiling. This is a very practical training that is adapted to real people, real life. It's not just a theory. You will gain practical, real-world tools. There will be classes, practice sessions. You'll start with analyzing yourself and your loved ones, and then you'll pair up with other students, analyze each other. I promise you, you will discover about yourself something new, something you didn't know. And even if you already studied profiling, I can guarantee that this training is unlike any other. We use groundbreaking approach. We use hypnosis for deep immersion. First, it's for you to understand yourself better. And second, to immerse into each personality type, each core archetype, So then you not only using the theory learned to analyze people, but you do it on very deep, almost animalistic level. It's as though it happens on its own. And as I already mentioned, profiling is not just for security or intelligence agencies. It's an amazing tool for regular people, just like you and me. If you're a therapist or counselor or a coach, you'll gain a better understanding of your patients, clients. It is an amazing tool for self-discovery, for personal development. Why so many self-development courses, trainings fail? Because most of them are just cookie-cutter programs. But we're not the same. First, you have to know yourself, understand your weaknesses, your strengths, and lean on your strengths. Develop your stronger side. Know yourself and become more of who you are, stronger version of who you are. Don't waste your time and energy on trying to become something else. And here, the knowledge, the skill of profiling can be amazingly beneficial. The skill of profiling can be very helpful to you if you are having trouble building relationships. Perhaps you've dated wrong people. Or even worse, maybe you were married to someone that is toxic or abusive. Perhaps generally you don't feel comfortable, confident in social situations. That can be very helpful to you. If you're a business owner, if you work in sales, negotiations, if you are a teacher, a therapist, if you're building teams of some sorts, the skill of profiling can be very helpful. If what I have shared so far grabbed your attention, visit my website. You'll find much more information about this training and also about other training programs that I have available. You have to enroll by September 26th. We have 7 classes on Saturdays, which will start at noon of Eastern Standard Time. We have evening practice sessions, which will be on Mondays, starting at 7 p.m. of Eastern Time. Additionally, you can pair up with other students and practice at your own time. And in addition to that, we have Q&A sessions and healing trance work sessions on Friday, starting at 12 noon. Do not worry if you cannot make live to all of these events. Everything will be recorded and you will have access to all the replays. And besides classes, there are also written materials. Again, visit my website for more information. You'll find full schedule there. And join our group on Facebook, our community.